Hey, it's Ken Gagne of the YouTube channel Gamebits, and I'm here to unbox the Classiq II. This is a reproduction Nintendo Super Nintendo console. Nintendo's patent on the original hardware has expired, so other manufacturers can make their own consoles like this one, which plays Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. This is different from the Classiq III, which plays Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis. I was never a Sega guy. So when I got a gift certificate from Stone Age Gamer in Ohio, I used it to buy this. It plays, as I said, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, has 4 controller ports, 2 for each one, HDMI, AV, a bunch of other features that I'm looking forward to diving into, so stay tuned. Here it is, the Classiq II. This is a hardware-based Nintendo/Super Nintendo video game console. It's a clone, it doesn't use emulation, it's actually a Nintendo on a chip. 720p, lots of extra features, really excited about this. This is the packaging. It shows you a diagram, instructions in English, Spanish, and French. We're just not going to read any of that because that's not going to make for an interesting unboxing. We're just going to go right into the system itself. So it looks like this has already been opened for some reason. Maybe the glue just faded off or something. So there's just this one tab over here that I need to open up. And the box should immediately open. And by immediately, I mean, let me figure out how to open this box. Ah, there's another tab down here. All right, I'll remove that one as well. Ooh. There we go. That opens, and there it is. Nice. So it comes with the power adapter and 2 controllers. You'll see all of that momentarily, but I want to be gentle in taking it out, make sure I'm treating my new acquisition well. So here is the system. I will take it out of the packaging. Do not let small children play with these bags, and probably large adults either. Here we have it. So it feels pretty light, actually, which is either good or bad if you're looking for something with some heft. I've also never played something like this, so I don't know how to compare it. Has a toggle for Nintendo or Super Nintendo, so that tells the system which of these slots to read, and off in the middle and reset. So there's the Super Nintendo port, there's the Nintendo port. I do not see physical tabs that would block a Super Famicom game from going in there, which is great. On the bottom here, we have NTSC versus PAL. Not really a thing so much nowadays, I thought, with HDMI, but probably with these older systems it is. So you just, if you want to play this system in Europe or Australia, you switch to the PAL setting. Here in North America, we use NTSC. And on the back, you have HDMI. Oh yeah, now you're playing with power, as well as the classic composite inputs. So left audio, right audio, and video. There's the power. And also, this is a neat feature, 16:9 versus 4:3. So with the original Nintendo and Super Nintendo, it played 4:3. That's how CRT televisions were made back then. Modern systems, modern televisions, HD TVs, are 16:9. So you can play in that. The game is going to look stretched, as you'll see in the demo momentarily. So I'm probably going to use 4:3 as a default and have it pillar boxed by putting black bars on either side to make sure that it appears at the original resolution. That is the console. Let's see what else is in the box. This appears to be the power, or at least part of it. It's just a USB power. How interesting. So that goes into the wall, and then you have another cable that goes in there. That's probably in here as well. Lots of cables in here. So it's probably going to be this one. Let me open that up. And sure enough, there's the USB. So that goes in there. It's USB 3. And then that one, I'm going to be sorry about this. I can never remember if it's micro or mini USB. I'm going to get a lot of comments in the YouTube video about that. And then that goes right in there. Of course, it's USB. You'd get it right on the 3rd try, which was also the 1st try. And that's how the power works. Easy enough. Set that aside. We also have, wow, they even provide the video cable, so you don't need to BYOC. So that's nice. Even if you end up using HDTV, it never hurts to have an extra one of these around. So you can basically, you can hook this up to a CRT or an HDMI TV. Whatever you have lying around, whether it's your old TV from the 80s or a modern one you just bought yesterday, this thing will hook up to it. That's fantastic. It's nice to have options. There's the HDMI cable. Again, I can never have too many HDMI cables. Looks fairly short. I'm gonna guess 3 feet. I don't know. And 2 controllers. This is awesome. You can immediately start playing 2-player games as soon as you open the box. You have everything you need to play 2 games. Everything except the game itself. So let's open these up. So one of these is modeled after the 8-bit Nintendo in that it has A, B buttons and no XY. So there you go. More of the dog bone shape that was used for the later top-loading NES system. Select, start, and the D-pad. You can use your original Nintendo controllers if you have those. So you can plug those right in. This system is compatible with all your original hardware. And then over here we have a Super Nintendo controller. So we will also open that. Twisties. Or are they twist ties? How do you pronounce them? Is that a regionalism? I may never know. Oh, there's another one. Why? Why are you doing this to me? I just want to play my new Nintendo. All right, so there's that. So also very familiar with the original Super Nintendo, same cable inputs, same pinouts. A, B, X, Y, select start, LR. Now, what I've read is that you can use this to play Nintendo games. You don't have to plug this in to play Nintendo games. So this is cool. This means you have everything you need to play 2-player Nintendo games right out of the box. If you want to play 2-player Super Nintendo games, you only have one controller that has the right number of buttons. So you might need to go buy another one or dust off your old one. And finally, there's the manual, which again, I will not read. There's probably a PDF somewhere online, but it covers what's in the box, configuration, setting up your Classiq II, system information, and then the same exact stuff in other languages as well. So if you live in Mexico, you can know how to use your system. Awesome. So let's go plug this in and see how well it works on a variety of test games that I have. I have Star Fox, which is a really great system game to test with because it has the FX chip. We'll really know if this supports that or not. We have a Super Famicom game, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. We have a Famicom game, Ultima, with an adapter to plug Famicom games into the original Nintendo. And we also have an EverDrive, which holds ROMs for your legal backups or for your homebrew games. So let's go try all of these out right now. All right, let's start with some Star Fox. Power on.
And away we go. Wow. All right, so this looks just like I remember. It's like playing on an actual Super Nintendo. The FX chip is what allows all the polygonal graphics. This was way before 3D games came out on the PlayStation and N64. But the FX chip, it made it work on the Super Nintendo. And it wasn't the speediest thing out there, to be honest, but it worked. Alright, let's give this a quick spin, just for a minute or two, and see how this works. Now, I've not played this game in decades, and I'm sure that I will not remember how to play, but let's start. See where we go. You've chosen course 3, a good choice to take Venom by surprise. Yeah, let's just skip that. Good luck. Oh, these graphics. I love it. I love it. And away we go. Now, Star Fox 64 for the N64, also a great game. Haven't played that in ages either. But this Classiq II seems to be doing the job that it was hired to do. Alright, I can fly left and right, I can... Oops, there's my bombs. There's my lasers. Oh, I got inverted up and down here. That used to be how I used to play back in the day. I don't know why that stopped making sense to me at some point, and I switched to it being up is up and down is down. But right now, I'm playing with inverted y-axis. Alright, I'm gonna do a barrel roll. Yeah. Fly through here. Alright. I'm gonna say that this works, and we can switch to another game. See how those work. Oh, okay, you're 6, I'll save you. I saved you. Oh. Oh. Oh, I crashed. I was supposed to boost through that. Whoops. Alright. We can say that Star Fox works. Let's check out a different game. We're going to pop Star Fox out, turn this off, and plug in The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past for the Super Famicom. Huh. It does fit. Let's see how it works. I've never played this cartridge before. I just got it a week ago. Amazing. Ha! I've never seen this before. It's so weird to see how different it looks. Same exact music, completely different graphics. And language, of course. I don't speak Japanese. But it works just fine. Somebody else started a game. I will start my own. Link, of course. Because I don't know what any of those other characters mean. Alright, let's do this. My uncle... No, that's Zelda telepathically speaking to my uncle, right? That's how this game starts, right? I'm surprised there aren't more saved games on here. Like, people... This is a used game. Somebody must have played it, right? Oh. Link! Blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying blah, blah, blah to make fun of the language. I'm not saying that it's gibberish. I'm saying that it's gibberish to me because I lack the knowledge to understand it. But that's a lantern. I know that, at least. Yeah, I cannot tell the difference between playing this game on the Classiq II and playing this game on a Super Famicom or a Super Nintendo. Now, again, I've never played this version of the game before, but other than language, like this interface right here, this screen that you're seeing right now, this looks exactly like the American version. And I can't tell the difference between this and any other version of this game I've ever played on any other piece of hardware. So I would say that they've done it. I'm gonna take this sword, mourn my uncle, and switch to yet another game. Alright, I don't have any 8-bit Nintendo games to play, but I do have a Famicom game, Ultima, so I'm going to plug that in. That goes into the back port here. Oh, I don't think it fits. Yeah, it doesn't fit. I will need to get a Nintendo game to test. Since I couldn't get an 8-bit Famicom game to work, let's try an actual 8-bit Nintendo game, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! I'm going to insert it into the Nintendo slot in the back, but not too tight, I found. I'm going to leave the Super Famicom game plugged in. I'm going to slide the power switch up to activate the Nintendo slot. Oh, I recognize that sound. Oh yeah, look at this. Now, I do not promote Mike Tyson himself, but this is a classic game. Now, one of the things I'm finding that's cool, I can select New or Continue, but I'm doing that with the 8-bit Nintendo controller that came with the system, but I can also do so with the Super Nintendo controller that I plugged in. So even though you can see both are plugged in right now, I could have left just the Super Nintendo controller that I was using previously and just use that for everything. So this is only available if you want the classic 2-button experience. Otherwise, you can just use the Super Nintendo controller and ignore the buttons that don't work. Alright, let's give this a try. New game. Alright. Joe Glass, you're going down to Little Mac. I hope this is not embarrassing. Alright, there's Mario, classic Mario. So many jobs that man has had. I can't tell you. Alright, come on. Hurry up, little Joe, hurry up. Now, I have heard that the Classiq II that I'm playing does not support the EverDrive, which is a system you use... Oh! Haven't played this in a while. So, I have the EverDrive for the Super Nintendo, and I will be demoing that shortly. But if you have an EverDrive for the 8-bit Nintendo, that might not work. I've also been told that some games don't play as well, so this is a better Super Nintendo game system than a Nintendo game system. I'll also show you the aspect ratio switch on the back that I showed in the unboxing. So that's full screen now. That is what that looks like. Okay, I think we've demoed that this works, and we can move on to the next game.
Let's try my last 16-bit cartridge, the EverDrive, which lets me play ROMs on actual hardware instead of having to use an emulator. It's one of the best ways to play homebrew games.
Alright, here's the screen. I have SPED and ROM. These are two different folders. SPED has some stuff in it that I don't recognize. And ROM, here are the games. So let's try Super Mario Land. This is a fan-made game. It's a remake of Super Mario Land for the Game Boy, but made for the Super Nintendo. Let's select and start. Okay, this game is non-commercial, made 2006, understood. Wow. 4P start normal, don't know what that means, but okay. Ah, look at this. It is an entirely new Mario game that Nintendo never came out with because it's homebrew. And this is basically a 16-bit version of a black and white Game Boy game that came out like 30 years ago. Amazing. I thought on the original Mario game B was run and A was jump. This seems to be the opposite. Maybe I'm just misremembering. But this is pretty cool. Like, if you want to play a whole new Mario game, you don't want to wait for Nintendo to come out with one. It's right here. Now, one thing I haven't shown you is the 4x3 and 16x9 switch on this system. So let me switch that. And see, now it's widescreen. And you can play it like that if you want to. Everything looks a little stretched, but it does take up the full screen. So if that is something you prefer, if you prefer the wide stretch as opposed to the black bars, you can do that. That is your choice. That is a weird looking fireball, but oh, that's how it worked on the original game. That's right, it just bounced. Oh, I can go backward too. That's great. I'm wondering if it can bounce off the top of things as well. Yep, there we go. Cool. All right. So that is the EverDrive, and more important, that is the Classiq II. So this is a really cool system to play all your old games on without having to have the original hardware. Not a bad deal. I mean, it's the Nintendo, it's the Super Nintendo, and the biggest thing is that it has that HDMI support, so you don't need your old television. So if you want to play your old Super Nintendo and Nintendo games, and even some that you've never played before, go ahead and get yourself a Classiq II. I'm a fan.